Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
This is the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast. Yes, another wrestling podcast. I am Willie Tiny, and my hosts are L.A. Willie and Will the Thrill, and we got our guest, Liam Black,
Welcome.
from the world famous Monster Factory.
Yep.
How's everyone doing?
Man,
good.
I'm excited. We got the fastest man alive from the Monster Factory with us.
I wish. I'm no Flash. I try.
No, you do.
Yeah.
So how long have you been training at the Monster Factory?
Ooh. I signed up for the Monster Factory early May of 2022. I ended up not having my first training session until about a month later. So start of June, I think, of 2022 is when I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
how old were you at that time, would you say?
I had just turned 18.
Holy smoke.
Yeah. So my birthday was May 4th. At the end of that month, I ended up training. So. Yeah.
Wow, what a birthday present.
Yeah, for sure. Started all
strong with this one.
Yeah.
Did you have your first match after your first month of training?
Yeah. So yes, and also no, because we did the show, the 2300 Arena show. That was at the end of June. So I was about 2 weeks into training, and I got to do the 3-2-1 Battle Royal. I got to do that. So technically that was like my debut in front of a crowd. However, 2 weeks later, we always do training matches on Tuesday, or at least we used to at that time. I wrestled Marvelous in one of those two sessions after the 2300 show. And Missy was just like, wow, that's like, how long you've been training? I'm like, maybe 3 weeks. She's like, that was like extremely good. That was like a really good match for you. And then next week, we did training matches again, and I got to wrestle my buddy Nick Petit, from famous, world-renowned The Focus. We also had a training match, and after that match, Missy was like, "Yeah, you're debuting on the show when we have our next show," because that was just, I don't know like what this was, but it was great. Did a great job, so we're putting you on the show. What I will say about all that is I put in a lot of time, a lot of effort into getting to that point to be able to make that debut in singles competition. I went, I was there three times a week, and I was there from 8 o'clock to 2 to 3 in the morning, like just open ring afterwards, just grinding. And Nick really helped usher me in at that time. Being very new, he always set me aside, worked with me. I give him a lot of praise. Him and a guy named Samuel Thompson for kind of getting me prepared, getting me in ring condition, working with me. They really helped usher that debut that I have so early on. A lot of credit to those guys, just because they really did help me a lot. And of course, Danny and Missy as well. So that is the infamous story of, hey, month of training, first match on the show. I wrestled pre-show and main show that night. So yeah, it is true, but a lot of work went into that. It wasn't just, hey, I showed up and got on the show. So yeah.
So Liam, what got you interested in wrestling, and which superstar influenced you to to become a wrestler and to do this that you love?
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't necessarily say someone like got me into it. It was my uncle. He would always, talk about it here and there occasionally, but I never really picked up on it. I didn't really know what it was until one day my mom was just like channel surfing through the channels, and Monday Night Raw's on, and Jeff Hardy's doing the Swanton, and the Raw logo's in the background, and I'm just like hooked. Whatever this is, it's dope. I sat there. I was like causing a ruckus at the house. My mom was just like, "You need to calm down." And then I was like doing front flips off the couch. And then as soon as Raw came on, I just sat still and just watched the entire show. Put the couch cushion back on the couch, got on the couch, sat there, watched the entire show, and was instantly hooked. It began my obsession with it. I wouldn't necessarily say someone really introduced me to it. It was just more so if I saw it and it calmed me down. So mom was like, "We'll keep this on the television so I can go do things while you're there calmly." And obviously, I always say two different people for the in-ring work of it. Definitely Shawn Michaels. He is my favorite all-time wrestler. He always will be. I love Shawn Michaels. But in terms of like personality, it was definitely Jeff Hardy. Like the dye, the nail paint, the face paint, like just everything about him. He was so like charismatic and just so like free to be himself. To the point where I would like go to school wearing like black fingernail polish and like cut up pantyhose just because it was Jeff Hardy,
Right.
Nobody cooler in the world than Jeff Hardy. So both of them are really the two that got me into it. But Shawn for the in-ring aspect of wrestling, just that guy cannot have a bad match. I love him so much. He's so good. And then Jeff just for like the character and everything he brings when it comes to the charismatic enigma. Just it blew my mind.
Nice.
Well, my question for you, Liam, is would you say your style is actually kind of similar to Jeff Hardy's in a way?
So I think when I first started, it very much was, right? Because when you first start, you don't really have a move set. You don't really know what you're going to go out there and do, because you're not like equipped for that, just yet. Like, because obviously me being a month in and going, being on the shows every month at that point, you kind of just have to figure it out as you go. And for me, it was definitely a lot of taking Jeff's moves and a little bit of Shawn's and just kind of like sprinkling it into whatever I did. I'd say his style in the sense of when I wrestle as a good person, as a good guy, I definitely lean a lot towards him. But not so much anymore. I've kind of developed my own thing, but in the very beginning, Jeff, I really took a lot from his style, and a lot from Shawn's as well. Just because those are like the two guys that I watch all the time, so it's like in your brain already to do that. So yeah, in the very beginning, I'd say I did take a lot of inspiration from him for sure.
This photo here, you're sharing a moment with Twitch. Is this beginning of your career?
So this was a stint I had started and about August and then about December of the end of that year, I got into a car accident. So I couldn't travel back up to training for a while. That was when I came back, like right when I came back from the, being out of action for a while. The first person I had a match with was Twitch. He was always someone I wanted to wrestle. I just felt like, hey, if I can go in there and I can prove I can wrestle, with Twitch in the ring, then I feel like I belong. And especially coming off of not being there for 4 months, wanting to come back and have a barn burner. And I think me and Twitch did. We had a really good match that night. He was really fun to work with. He was really fun to call the match with. Very open-eyed. The very beginning, it was like at the middle part of my career so far. It was about a year and a half in. It was after my first break due to travel issues because I am 3 hours away from there.
Wow.
My next point here, you already answered. I said only 19 years old, and you got a birthday May the 4th, and you'll be 20.
Yeah, I'm very nervous about that. Very, very nervous about that. Just to be 20 is like me and Jake will literally be at practice, and I'll just be like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be 20 soon." This is like I'm so old. I'm getting so old, and I don't have much longer to like be great at this. In my mind. And he's just like, "Dude, shut up. You're literally like you're 20. What are you talking about?" But yeah, man, I'm gonna be 20 soon, and I'm trying to embrace it as best as I can. But very scary. I don't want to be old. I don't want to.
You and Jake are one half. Well, not one half, but you're one half, and he's one half of the Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah, man. This whole tandem of us being a tag team is it's been the most fun I've had in my entire career so far. Just absolute blast. Yeah. One half of the Broad Street Bullies, embracing it. It's so much fun to do it with him.
So what would you say would be your favorite or best match as singles competitor and in a tag team match? Like, what would be your favorite match or your favorite moment of your career so far?
Okay. Favorite moment, hands down, was getting to wrestle against Homicide. That was mind blowing. I'm just gonna pull back the when we're out there,
or is it? We've been here, or
yeah. It was that show. We've been here, yeah. Me and Jake are standing on the outside of the ring, and I hear the famous Homicide music, and it didn't really hit me that I was about to wrestle this guy until he starts walking down the ramp, and he does this with his hands, and then he does his finger signs, and I had the biggest smile on my face, and I had to do like one of those, like cover it up because you can't let nobody see you break like that. But dude, that was by far, it was the coolest thing to just be in the ring with him. He was one of my favorites in TNA back in the day, and that just to get together in the ring was absolutely crazy. By far my favorite moment. My favorite singles match. I don't know, the one I just had with Mark is up there, man. I just felt like the pacing of everything that I did and the way we worked the entire match. It was just something about it. Just everything felt like it went exactly as we wanted it to. The crowd was eating it up. It was so good. I'm gonna say that's one of my favorite singles matches. I not off the top of my head. I don't have a like obvious one. Me and Nick have had some great ones. My match with Twitch is up there too. I just really love that match. Me and Mimi wrestled. That was also another good match. Sorry, I'm trying to narrow it down, and I just can't. There's so many that I love so much. But my favorite tag match Jake and I have had is easily against Mark and Mimi at TRL. That was by far the best tag match, and even today we still say it to each other. That it's still the best match that we've had as a tag unit. Just the crowd was eating everything up. We got to do a lot of our cool tag moves. We got to introduce the penalty kill. Everything about it was just great, man. It was just so good. That's by far my favorite tag match I've been.
I gotta say something. Go ahead, Will Thrill. Go ahead.
So how long have you been a tag team?
Ooh, maybe since March. So not that long. We haven't been a tag team that long. Maybe March. I remember we got paired together as two singles competitors. At one of the TRLs against Travis and Mark. And I remember when we had that match after, I'm like, there was something there. Like we were really good and just being two singles competitors wrestling as a tag unit. And then a couple weeks later, the storyline with Stevie and Manly and Darling happened, and then they're like, hey, we want to bring you into this. let's bring you in as someone that's on Jake's side. And so we kind of ran with that, and then it became, Broad Street Bullies from there. And then we were like, okay, we're officially a tag team now, I guess. So let's do Broad Street Bullies. Let's, start wearing denim jackets together, coming out, pissing people off. And from there, that was kind of like us, the tag team, but not that long. Like maybe 2-3 months.
Wow. The only reason I'm shocked that you said that is because you guys' chemistry is like you guys knew each other for like years, and like you knew each other's style. Like I'm just like blown away that you said that. Yeah.
Jake and I, we just recently started working with each other a lot more. We used to occasionally, like when I'd come down to train, he'd be like, hey, you're 3 hours away. Like, I don't want you to, not have like a good training session. Why don't we come in here and work a match on the fly? And, that was really all we would ever do. It was like, hey, you want to wrestle outside the ring, shoot wrestle, and then, hey, get in the ring. Let's work a match on the fly. We didn't really interact with each other. Not necessarily saying that we weren't friends, just like in terms of wrestling with each other. We didn't do much of that until we kind of became a unit. So yeah, it wasn't much at all. Like I've only maybe known him a year and a half. Like, and just overall since I met him, not even in wrestling, just since I met him in person. It's not even been that long. Yeah.
When we had Jake on, he talked very highly of you. He loves having you as a tag team partner. And Danny Cage, if you're listening, these guys deserve a tag team championship run in the near future. They have it.
Yes, indeed.
Jake is what can I say about Jake? And Jake is absolutely so just kind and so open to work with me on everything. When we became a tag team, I'm like, hey, communication is the strongest thing that we need to do. We need to both communicate with each other for everything that we're going to do. And he's always open to my ideas. We're always sharing ideas with each other. I'll shoot him something. If I'm like, hey, I think this would go good in our next match, I'll literally voice message him and just be like, hey, what do you think? And he'll be like, yeah, I like that. Maybe we could do this too. Like, he's so just open to everything. He's so selfless. For someone in the business of professional wrestling, he's so selfless in terms of like not caring who gets the pin, not caring who looks weak. I told him from the beginning that I felt like this was kind of his tag team because it's the Broad Street Bully, and that's what he was before we teamed up. And he's like, no, dude, we're equals. We're both on the same level. Like, this is ours. Let's do it. He's a great worker. He's a great shoot style worker. And he's been nothing but kind to me, since we became a tag team, and even before that. Jake's absolutely awesome. I look at him as a kind of a bigger brother to me in a sense. So yeah, I'm just grateful that we get to do this together, and we're having a blast. So I appreciate him speaking so highly of me, but he deserves a lot of credit for our success.
That's all respect, man. The fact that y'all both are talking highly of each other on two separate occasions, that shows y'all chemistry, how much you care about each other, and what you just said. That's just awesome, dude. Just like a true partnership trying to go for the same goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were very serious when we said we wanted to win tag titles by the end of the year. That is our goal. Like, we want to do this. We want to have our run.
Listen, Danny Cage.
Yeah. You know who the top dogs are.
Yeah. But you guys are climbing that mountain, so keep it up. Keep it up.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Great. So you've been feuding with Oliver and Mark Raspa Jr.
Yeah, that's me and Mark originally wanted to do kind of a singles thing with each other. We pitched that a while ago. It was literally the same exact time at which me and Manly got teamed together. It was literally on that same day. The same day me and Manly got paired together was the day me and Mark were supposed to start like our singles our singles feud for TRL. And Mark is just he's over, man. He's over. The crowd loves him. A lot of his friends hate me, which is, expected. So me and Mark definitely have our feud in the works. But Ollie's really the main focus of what's coming for me and Jake Manley here soon. Our attention really focused on Oliver for a while. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying anymore. I don't think I can say anymore to you guys about that.
Fair enough.
Well, you did have single match with God of Dad Bod.
Oh yeah. My first ever singles main event as well. Wow. Really
Nice.
Cool accomplishment. Yeah. We got the Body Snatchers. I got to wrestle one half of the tag champs, and I came up short, admittedly. But it was a fun time to get in there and work with someone that is, in my opinion, he's up there with the top. When we come into training, DK is one of those guys you listen to, you ask for advice for. He's one of those guys. So to get in there and wrestle with him, and also for him to put his trust in me on certain things that we did, and appreciate me as a competitor, and respect me is honestly so I was just thrown back by it at first. But he's a great guy, and to get in there and do that with him in the main event was awesome. We got to, he squished my head, and that was how my night ended. And Jake carried me out like a bride to be. But it was a great time. DK is such a good worker at being a babyface or heel. He's really good at it, man. And it was probably the easiest match I've ever had. So easy, so much fun. That's all I could ask for. Make it easy. Let's have a great time. And it was awesome.
You do have a great elbow drop.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah. I've had some close calls, and then I've had some that are I get up there and hype. Obviously it's a Michaels thing. I do the whole slap before the elbow because that's what he did. That was just what move can I do that I can do universally to everybody, and also a simple move. Let's not make it like a Canadian Destroyer. You know what I mean? Let's do something basic. Let's bring a basic finish back into my style because I feel it suits me very well. I used to do the Phenomenal Forearm a lot, and I was I kind of don't want to do that every time because that bump isn't the nicest one to take. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do an elbow drop. And I was like, yeah, he did the Michaels, and I did it one time, and everybody was like, yo, it was great. And ever since then, I've just kept doing it. I did it to DK. I've done it to pretty much everyone I've wrestled. And so far, no complaints about it. Everyone loves it, and nobody gets hurt from it. So I'm just grateful that I have that, and people appreciate that.
Just to be clear, DK is God of Dad.
Yes. Got a dad bod. Yeah. Okay. I see him a lot more in person. It's weird for me to say they're our wrestling teams.
Right. I got down your favorite bands are Moses Worse Than White and Slipknot.
Yeah, the Slipknot flag in the background there. Man, music to me is it is an outlet, an extremely beneficial and therapeutic outlet. I would say Slipknot caught me right in my angry teen phase where I was kind of going through things in school and kind of just didn't have anything to release my rage because I'm not a rageful person. I'm not an angry person. I always find when I have those feelings it's kind of something I don't want. And I do suffer a lot from mental health. I have very bad anxiety, really bad anxiety. And listening to Slipknot, listening to that self-titled album and just the raw rage and passion and anger, but beautiful music, even though it sounds like a mess. And it helped me just have an outlet. Before I got wrestling, I had that because I didn't always have wrestling. I had it to watch it, but I didn't get to do it all the time. I didn't get to really put my foot into the ring at that point. So it was getting me there. And Slipknot caught me right at that phase of like being angry. And they just, it just helped me get through so much. And then I found Motionless later on during my, like, when I started getting older, and then I started having to pay bills, and like I started getting depressed because I had no money, like things like that. It's just, I love that band. I have them tattooed on me. They're my favorite band. I love the lyrics. I love the message of the band. I love that they're all about, like, yeah, Slipknot. That, yeah. I'm wearing my Motionless though, but I do have the Slipknot in the back. No, so like their message about unity through music is something that I love, and that's also one thing I love about Slipknot. That's why they all wear jumpsuits and they wear masks at the very beginning, because it was about, you don't need to know who we are, you just need to know that we're fighting the system just like you. We care just like you do. We can be nameless because this is just music we're making to help you guys through your tough times. And Motionless and Slipknot did that for me. Big, huge fan.
They're actually having a very small pop-up show tomorrow night in California. The venue holds 350 people.
Woo! Wish I could have got a hold of that, but that ain't for me. I'm all the way out there.
Any other bands? Any other of your favorite bands you want to mention?
Ooh, this is good. I could talk about this for hours, but I'm gonna make it short. So Bullet of My Valentine, I've been getting into them a lot lately. Like, I've heard about them obviously, but I fell in love with them recently. Misfits, I love them just cause. The Cramps, I love them because they're spooky, Halloweeny, and they're just great, and I love them. Also, like, you got newer bands like Dying Wish, Code Orange, great for me. Lorna Shore also too. Like, I can go on and on. I just so many bands that I love because I care so deeply about music that if I can find even one song that can attach me and put me into that, like, environment of what they're writing about, what message they're trying to, convey to the audience, it just really sticks to me. So those are bands off the top of my head that I really love. Obviously Megadeth. Come on now, Slayer. Not Metallica. I'm not a big Metallica guy. I love what they do. I love that everybody loves them. It's just not for me.
Okay.
Right,
Jake probably hear me say that, but it's true. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Put it back.
I'd get that picture.
Let's put it up there. There we go.
I was wondering if I'd ever see that picture. Look at that. I got to work with the body. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I just recently had an experience where a couple kids came up to me after my last match against Mark and were just like, "Hey, we think you're, like, really cool. We just want to tell you that before we leave." And I'm like, "Thank you, guys." And then they wanted to take a picture with me. I got to take a picture with them. Their mom took it, and I gave them my sunglasses to wear, which is also a thing I do for my social anxiety. If you didn't know, that's why I wear them during my entrance, so I can't really see people, so that it keeps my anxiety at a minimum. I also wear sunglasses all the time when I'm not wrestling. I just wear them because I like I have really bad anxiety that way. But yeah, they got to wear the shades. They took a picture with me and they just said, like, I was so cool and that I was, like, their favorite, and that was just, like, mind blowing awesome to be able to connect with little kids that way. That even though I was being a douchebag, they somehow still liked me. I don't know what it was, but man, it was so awesome. Yeah. Well, there it is. That was my first singles win I ever had.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
So when those kids came up to you for a picture, did they mention if you look like anyone? Like, we had your partner here previously in one of the interviews, and I told him, I said, "You look like Adam Cole, baby." Like, yeah.
No, they didn't. Nobody's said that I look like anyone. I mean, Danny has called me Joey Janela since he saw
We can
Um,
see
I
it. You
see
just
that.
need
I
those type
see
of
that.
shades, baby.
I was going with Joey
Yeah.
Janela, and then I was like a little bit of Hangman, but I was like
Yeah,
Joey
yeah,
Janela
yeah.
more like.
It really calls me Jungle Boy when I first started. That was also another one. I'm like, dude, are we just gonna do short Caucasian males with long hairs? That we're just gonna go with all of them. That's what we're gonna call me any one of them. But no, nah, they didn't recognize. They didn't like, hey, you look like this person. But I've definitely heard people say I look like someone else. Yeah, Joey Janela is the biggest one for sure. I'm gonna meet that guy one day and tell him, why did people say I look like you? Nothing alike, but everybody seems to think. Yeah.
You just recently got new gear. You went from green and black to blue and black.
Yeah, I've always wanted to wear blue. Blue's my favorite color. So the gear process was, I was supposed to have that gear for the We've Been Here show, and unfortunately it wasn't able to happen. Scott and his wife, they're local people at the factory, Cameron, their son trains there all the time, and they make gear for some of the wrestlers. I reached out for them to make mine, and they did an absolutely phenomenal job at it. I drew it up and I sketched it, and it was terrible because I'm not an artist, not in that sense, not in a drawing on a piece of paper sense. And they gave me exactly what I wanted and more. And the blue really pops. So it was so cool to finally have gear that had my name on it that wasn't so generic. It really made me, going into that match, it made me feel more like a superstar. It made me more cocky. It made me feel more in touch with my character when I can now have that gear that is also, presenting what I'm portraying in front of all these people. So it was a dope, much needed change for me. And I went with the blue, and of course, man wears orange, so we definitely don't match. But we're working on that. We're working on things with that. But yeah, much needed change, and couldn't be happier with it. I love the switch. Love the color.
Nice. Looks good.
So,
Thank you.
because I was always figuring like you were representing the Eagles in your colors wise. He's representing the Flyers.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of character, hate the Eagles. That's just me. I'm kidding. I don't hate them. But they're not my team.
What's your football team?
I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers guy.
Okay, I
Okay,
can't.
that's
acceptable.
It's still a Pennsylvania team.
Yeah, and I'm not a Flyers guy at all. I'm a Bruins guy. So yeah, I'm just shooting on you guys now hard. Me and Jake actually went to a Flyers and Bruins game together, and the Bruins ended up beating the Flyers like 6-3. It was a hard watch for Jake to sit there and watch his team get beat by mine, but yeah, it definitely wasn't inspired. It definitely wasn't inspired by the Eagles, but I felt a couple people made that connection. That's why I did keep the gear as long as I did. And then when we changed it to blue, I'm working on ordering things that can have us match in a different way. I don't want to reveal it because I think it's going to be a cool surprise when you guys see it. But
Okay.
yeah.
Is it at least like one of the teams in the area, since you guys are like the Broad Street?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't necessarily say that because I don't really know exactly what the entire thing that I'm getting is going to be, what it's going to come out looking like.
Okay.
It should just be very similar to what Jake wears when he comes out to the ring. That's all I'll say. It's Jake wears.
The fact that you
Jake,
said that really.
Yeah. Jake wears the jersey. I may or may not also end up wearing a jersey. So I'm coming.
Okay.
So yeah.
I got to give the shout out to Jess Sky Full of Photos for most of the photos that I'm posting here. She does very good work. May 11th, Evolution of Champions. That's the next big show.
Yep. I don't know where the Broad Street Bullies are going to be at. I know that we'll be there. We'll be present. I have no idea what it is we're going to be doing. I think by TRLs, you guys can kind of decipher what we're going for. But again, we don't have the luxury of really knowing what we're going to be doing. But we're going to be there. We're going to show up. We're going to be bullies. We're going to mess with people. We're going to piss people off, and we're going to do what we do. And that's just that.
Heels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are heels, so it's not like we can argue about that.
Yeah.
Any questions, guys?
I got one. You touched on, one of your goals is being champion by the end of the year. Outside of that, what other goals do you have in your wrestling career, and what is your ultimate goal that you're looking to accomplish when everything is said and done?
Ooh, this is a loaded question. I like it. All right. Great question. I say I have a short term goal in the sense, and then I have a couple medium, and then one like really big goal.
Okay.
Obviously, the short term goal is to be a champion inside of the Monster Factory, to really finally establish me as a guy that performs there, always performs highly, always gets the crowd involved, like worthy enough to hold a title for the Monster Factory. Not everyone gets to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously the short goal. Obviously the midpoint goals. I want to be signed. I want to have wrestling pay my bills for me, so I don't have to work 5 at Walmart because I hate it. But that's obviously the goal, is to be signed by. I don't want to be signed anywhere else except WWE in that sense. Like, it's what I love. I would gladly take to be signed from anyone. I'm just saying that WWE for me is that's the goal, right? You know, when I was 4 years old on that couch, I wasn't watching AW at the time. I wasn't watching, like, it was WWE. So that to me is where my mind goes. Okay, now you've made it, you know. And that's not necessarily saying that if I get signed somewhere else that I'm going to be unhappy or not. It's just for me as the kid me that's still inside of here doing all the things that I've always wanted to do. Obviously, wants that end goal. My ultimate goal for wrestling is to connect with people, you know, to mean something to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Not to everybody, but, you know, to matter. In the sense, like, when I'm done, I want the things that I did to people to remember. I would just want to be able to connect with people, especially with the things that I go through with my mental health. And I'm very, very adamant on my mental health. I struggle with it, you know, every day, but something that I've learned to live with. And for me to be able to do that, if I'm able to go out there and achieve all those things, get signed by WWE, main event WrestleMania, whatever it may be, like, to then be able to tell people, hey, this thing that you're suffering through that you feel really alone in right now, it's not going to last, you know, because better things come. And for me, that's the ultimate goal, is to really hit a stride where I can be like, hey, guys, it's tough, but we can all do something. We can all make change. We can all be better. And we're not alone in terms of the anxiety, the depression, all that. Like,
Right.
you know, if I can go out here and do these things, you know, you can do them, you know. So that's my ultimate goal, is to really advocate for people that feel alone, and to just be there and show them, like, hey, listen, I suffer. Even though I'm this big WWE superstar, I suffer with this. I have mental health problems. I have depression. Like, I have all these things. I'm insecure about my body. I don't like the way I look. All these things that, you know, social media really like hammers in of, like, hey, you need to be in shape. You need to not be so, like, anxiety induced. Like, I want to be able to just tell people, hey, I am where I'm at, and I do have the same exact issues that you do. We're all the same. We're all human. So yeah, that is the ultimate goal, is to be able to, you know, tell people that I suffer from it too, get better. And
Gotcha.
Well, the thrill. Your question goes to everybody.
The question that we always hit our guests with: past, present, or anyone in the future, your dream opponent, dream style match. Your floor, Liam.
Oh.
Anywhere. It could be WWE. It could be AEW. It could be TNA. It could be New Japan. Just tell us. The minds want to know.
Dang, I have two. I can only give you one though, can't I? I can't do two.
No,
of
you
them.
can give me two. It's your turn.
All right. I will give you a ladder match against a 1997 heel Shawn Michaels. That's one of them. If I could do anything.
Yeah.
My more modern one is definitely would be to face Prime 2016 AJ Styles in a 60-minute Iron Man match. At
Nice.
Wrestle. That would be the ultimate one.
That would actually be awesome to see. Especially
Yeah.
Prime AJ.
Yeah, we can even throw him in the TNA with the biker shorts if you want. We can go that far down. Like,
Right.
whatever AJ you want to give me, give me him. Give me 60 minutes. Give me and give me a big stage. That's what that's the dream match.
Nice.
Your tattoo on your forearm.
Yeah. So I am of Hispanic descent. My father is Puerto Rican, so I have the flag there.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
whole everything on this arm is representative of him. I lost my dad when I was very young, when I was 2. And this is just my way to kind of remember him. Besides of like everything that I do, in memory of him. I have this tattooed on my hand. It says love on it. It was one of the tattoos my dad had. He got it in jail. So that's why it's a little faded. It's to represent that. That is the one tattoo my mom was actually okay with me getting, which is crazy because it's a hand tattoo. But my dad had it on this hand and then on this style, so we did it the exact same way to represent that. I have the stairway going up my arm that isn't finished yet, and the cross here. That's actually when we buried my father. We didn't have money for a headstone, so we bought like a cross, and the cross looked very similar to this one, which is why I got it. And then his name down at the bottom there. So all my tattoos so far are for my father. And then I have motionless tattooed on my leg for me. So yeah, those are all that's the Ink Master for Liam there. Yeah.
I'm sorry I brought that up. I just wanted to bring up your Puerto Rican roots.
No, it's perfect.
LA Willie's Puerto Rican here.
Yeah. Bam.
Yeah. Thank you. I was gonna ask you if you've done any wrestling like outside the U.S. Like he touched on, you being Spanish descent. Not yet.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Jake's like big on. He's like, hey, I want to wrestle in New Japan. For me, mine would be Mexico. I'd love to wrestle.
Yeah, they love their wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Love
do.
wrestling.
Mm-hmm. And if you got the WWE live event they had in Puerto Rico, so you see the crowd loves their wrestling there too.
Yeah. Would absolutely love that. Wrestle outside the country itself would be amazing, no matter where.
How do you feel about the Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank of WrestleMania? And
I am Monster Factory alumni and also of Puerto Rican descent. So that was a 2-for-1 for me. It was a great moment. It's absolutely awesome.
It was a great moment. I didn't realize that it was over 50 years that we had a Latin champion. I mean, I heard the name Pedro Morales in the past, but For me, it's like Damian Priest his name will live in infamy for me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Ooh, 10 years from now, that'll make me 29 years old.
Well, next month. Couple days.
Yeah. We'll go 30, sure. God, everybody's just trying to push me to that 20-year mark yet. I'm so not. 10 years from now, I'll be 30. Let me call my shot.
Go ahead.
It'll be about April, so WrestleMania would just have ended. So to have hopefully have done something on the WrestleMania card at that point. You know, obviously, I'd love to main event WrestleMania in 10 years from now, but let's be honest, I would only be 30 at that point. Long way to go, but you best believe I'm going to try to get there in 10 years from now. That's for sure.
Good goal, man. Good goal.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That's shooting for the stars, dude.
Yeah.
It's a good thing WWE and Monster Factory has a working relationship over the years, including today.
Yep.
I won't get into details, but
Yeah.
I think
I think we have a lot of people that could be seeing, you know, being signed in the future. Always look to two guys, obviously Goldie. One that doesn't get talked about or enough praise, and I'm going to shout him out. I don't know how much time we have, but I'm going to shout him out real quick. Nick Petit. He's my buddy. I love that dude. He has really been like a father to me in many ways. And I know I say that a lot about a lot of people, but I also don't have like a lot of male people, like a lot of male figures in my life. My mom did a great job raising me as a single parent of 4 kids, you know, but I never really had that. You know, my uncle, he's been there, but especially through wrestling, Nick has been great. I always say he's one of the top 2 performers at the Monster Factory, and he is at number 2. So for me, it's great to know that the factory has a good relationship with set companies, because guys like him and a Goldie, and then Travis as well. Like, you know, those guys they really have the talent, and, you know, and the opportunity could present itself, and I can see those guys there in the future for sure.
we
So,
could throw
it's been-
Mimi in there too.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, she was and can easily be signed again, for sure. She actually just recently tied both of my shoes together when we were in a wrestling match. Just throw that out there. She now has an obsession with untying my shoes when we're wrestling. Mimi, thank you for that. But yeah, no, it's great. Like, the Monster Factory is the place to be if you want to make it somewhere. And Danny really has done a great job of building that, you know, those relationships and making it possible for his students to go somewhere in professional wrestling.
Gabby Ortiz is great talent too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of great talent.
yeah,
Oh my. You can go down the list.
yeah. No, there's probably a bunch of names I'm missing out on. So many. But those are the ones off the top of my head that I go, yeah, best. Like, yeah, obviously Jake, as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Cage and Misty do a great job. Like it's like bar none. The Monster Factory is a wonderful school. Like, I am so impressed with you guys.
I mean, yeah, we train hard and we get the right teachings, and we're all in it together to try. You know, we're all trying to chase a dream, and they give us the best tools to do so, and they also give us a lot of freedom to do it on our own, which is great. Like, they're not just holding our hands the entire time, and not more you could ask for in a training facility, really. It's a Monster Factory. Obviously, I love it. I drive 3 hours, 3 times a week sometimes to get there, 3 hours on the way back. So, you know, I definitely wouldn't do that if I didn't think, number one, it had the potential to get me where I want to go, and to just be the best in the world, which I think it is. So,
Any upcoming bookings?
hopefully we got one in the works for May. Hopefully, we got TRL. Obviously, we're gonna be there every Friday, just harassing people, just being bullies. And maybe we just did 1CW. However, I think the next 1CW show happens on the same day that Evolution of Champions happens. But maybe in the future, 1CW action. Loved it there. Great environment, good people. Good tag match we had. Everything was great. So, yeah, Jake's really kind of the guy that gets the bookings. Like, he really is just like, hey, I talked to them, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I really don't know. Jake will just probably spring something on me. But as for right now, definitely every Monster Factory show. And then maybe 1CW here and there as for right now. but hopefully a lot more in the future.
Any more questions, guys?
I'm all ears.
Now he covered pretty much, man.
Pretty
He
much
did
everything.
really good.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, pretty open book.
Oh, well, thank you for your time, Liam. It's been a
problem.
pleasure.
Thank you,
We wish
Liam.
you the best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
And hopefully
I
down the
hope you
line we
achieve
can
your
get you and your tag team partner on here.
How about
Yes.
this?
At the same
Let's try to aim for that at the end of 2024 when the Broad Street Bullies are tag champions. We'll sit in the
Yes.
room together and put them right in front of me where I'm sitting right now. We'll put them there and then we'll have
You
them.
heard it,
Soon as
folks.
you guys-
You heard it.
Yeah.
soon as you guys become Monster Factory Tag Team Champions, we're going to have you on.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we can talk.
Yeah, you
gonna
may
happen.
see my face again sooner than you think.
It's going to happen. Danny Cage,
Yes.
make it happen.
Make
Yep,
it happen.
You heard it.
You heard him.
All right. Thank you, Liam.
No
Thank
problem.
you, Liam.
You have a great night.
You too,
We'll
man.
see you
Thank
soon.
you very much.
All right, guys. That was a good episode. We're going to hit our music. We're
Hold
going
on,
to take
can
it
I
home.
say one more thing before we
Yeah,
sign?
yeah, go ahead.
All right, ladies and
Go ahead.
gentlemen, as you heard LB Liam Black mention, mental health is real. Please always check on your friends, your loved ones,
Mhm.
and definitely make sure, because mental health is serious. It's serious.
It
You
is
heard
very
him.
serious.
Now you see, if you go to a show, you see him with glasses, you understand why. He did
Right.
explain that here on this show and opened up pretty much with us. So please do check on the people you care about, because this day and age, we do need to make sure we all are okay with our health.
Yes.
You just never know what someone's going through. They could wear a smile. You never know what they're hiding.
Yeah. So just always make time, to talk to them and listen to them sometimes.
And don't
All
forget
right.
to like, subscribe, comment, and continue joining the Three Wills Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah.
Here's our
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
This is the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for watching.
Have a good night, everyone.